Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. As you know that this is my third lecture, and in my previous lecture I have been told you about the shooting lodge. So I will tell you what happened in shooting lodge and what was the drug why. So I will define, again I repeat that you understand well. Just like Rudolf Zenda, Rudolf Haider, Concert, Fritz, Joseph and Johan's mother. These 6 people are in shooting lodge. And one thing I clear, my dear student, as you know that shooting lodge is reside or located in Zenda. Zenda is own property, because own land of Black Michael, where the king is guest, is living under the shadow of Black Michael and his personal bodyguard. As you know that Mr. Rudolf Haider and Rosendal, they have taken food very delicately and something very cultural. They have shown their culture as the kings and the lords were combined in eating. After all, one bottle, Joseph, who is the domestic servant to the real king, Rudolf Haider, is very loyal to the real king. And one thing again mentioned, Colonel Sept and Frisk, they are the bodyguard. Bodyguard, loyal servant, very sincere, and even they can die for the cause of the life of real king, Rudolf Haider. So they are always ready, and they are always in planning how we can save our king. So their mission is to maintain the Ruritania and save the Ruritania from the clutches, horrified clutches of Black Michael and his personal bodyguard. It's a criminal people are working under the command of Mr. Michael. And Joseph is a domestic servant, and Johan's mother, she is a schemer. She is working under the plan of Black Michael. These are the people in shooting lodge. Now, I carry my lecture ahead, my dear student. As you know, when Rudolf Haider, he become drugged, Joseph says, "Sir, please drink for the sake of Black Michael." Your brother says, "This is only my brother, Rudolf Haider, he will enjoy this bottle." And he swallowed, he drank whole the bottle, and it was intoxicated. It was drugged. After all, this real king, Rudolf Haider, become unaware. He become unawake, in a drowsiness, the suffering drowsiness. There was no conscious. What happened then? When the real king, early in the morning, he has to reach at Ruritania, Strels as the capital, and he has to be crowned king. Now, what is the role of Sept and Fritz? And there was one person, Rudolf Zenda. These two people, Sept and Fritz, become very much worried. Now, dear student, as you know that, now they became very much worried, and they were talking in their own sense, in their own situation, what happened of Ruritania, if real king would not approach there, if he would live here as a drunken dog, says to real king. So definitely Black Michael is only inherit, he will be a crown king, and definitely he is a criminal, he is a villain. In this novel, he would be a king, and definitely he will get married to Princess Flavia. There are 2 people they are demanding to marry. One is Rudolf Haider and one is Colonel Sept. They both want to marry Princess Flavia. So this was the situation when make perplexed, worried Colonel Sept and Fritz. So my dear student, as you know that now they become very much worried, and this time they have seen to Rudolf Rosendal. He was in beard and the same structure to Mr. Rudolf Rosendal. You know why Mr. Rosendal came in coronation ceremony? Because there was one picture on the wall of Rudolf Rosendal in their home in London, when they symbolize him. Rosendal, you belongs to same family. 5th generation ago, when Rudolf, he is the king of Britannia, came, and he has made a connection with Emily, Burlesdon, the grandmother to Rudolf Zenda, and they got marriage. From there, the one race came. One race came in a same face. So the Zendel and Rudolf Alberg has a very same face. Long nose, cheeks, and red hair, blue eyes, all thing, So this was. Now, the duty of Colonel Sept and Frisk, they both want to convey, to confess, Mr. Zendel, please, for sake of a real king, he is really suffered in intoxication. So now you become a king because you are looking like a real king. Please don't waste the state of Ruritania. Don't let to die our real king. If you become a real king, if you become a crown king, I hope our real king should be alive. He must be alive. But Zendel was very much worried. He said, no, I don't have courage. I am not in position. People understand me. People know me that I am not a real king. If someone catch me, someone understand me. Oh, this is not a king. Who is this conspirator? Who is this dual person? So in this condition, Zendel became very much worried. But the both people, Colonel Sept and Frisk, they convey the message, for the sake of our real king. If you should not be a crown king, definitely Michael will be a crown king, and he is not a good person. Even he is not a sincere with the royal family people. He is a criminal. He will kill all the people. Nobody would be alive. Dear student, now this was the plan. In this time, the general says, yes, okay, if you say, for the sake of king, our real king, my brother Rudolf Alberg, you call him brother. I do. I follow. I obey my duty. I will be a much obedient, very dutiful, very loyal servant to save the Ruritania. Okay. Now he just shave off his beard, and now the two people, Sept and Frisk, became very much happy because their dream was accomplishing. Now the plan is going on. My dear student, as you know that, what was the plan? They have to go and reach Ruritania at 9 a.m. before, because there was a big planning of coronation ceremony. Now the Sept, Frisk and the Zendel, they both were very much worried. And then time when Rudolf Alberg, he could not be awake, they put Rudolf Alberg into wine cellar. And there was Joseph, a domestic servant. He will be a guardian to the real king. Now there was a lady behind the wall. She was listening, hearing what they are planning. The Sept understand there's someone behind, out of door. They saw there was Johan's mother. They caged her lady and bound her hand and legs into jail and put into coal cell. Now these are two people behind. Now the plan is ahead. How we have to go? What was the planning to reach Ruritania safely? That Michael doesn't understand, because this is the plot, simple plot, not a real plot, and I will define in my again coming lecture. Dear student, now you understand that now the Sept and Zendel will come from the frontier, and Frisk will accompany through the train. So this was a plan through the horse riding from frontier to come to the station, and will connect to Mr. Frisk. So this was the plan. Early in the morning, this plan was moving towards. They have to go ahead. So in this way, all were ready. They have Sir Zendel as a crown king. He wore the dress of crown as a kings and lords are wearing. And he saw his face before the mirror. He became very much happy that he was looking like a real king, because they both are twin faces, So the grandfather, grandmother, they have the relation coming in continuity with Zendel and Rudolf Alberg. So this plane was moving towards. Now the plane is ready to reach Ruritania to attend the coronation ceremony. My dear student, you know what I'm saying. Now, early in the morning, Zendel joined Mr. Sept, riding horses, moving towards, and Frisk from railway station. Again they joined one station, and the three people were through the journey by train. They were moving towards Strelsa. And you know, the people were passionately waiting for the real king who became a crown king, and they were waiting to see how our king looks like, because the real king was a stranger. Among the 10%, no one knows anyone who is the real king. Only the Michael was known among the people. Michael was known among the people. Real king was not known. So it was a surprise for the people of Ruritania. It was a surprise for the people of Ruritania. So Rudolf Zenda became in the shape of real king, because they had the same face, and these were coming towards through the journey by train towards Strelsa. And Marshal Storkens, I have not put the name here, Marshal Storkens, chief of Ruritania police, he was waiting there to welcome their new king, their crown king, Rudolf Elber, I mean to say Rudolf Zenda, who was becoming a crown king. So my dear students, this was the shooting lodge. Now what happened in Ruritania in coronation ceremony, inshallah in my 4th lecture, I will tell you what happened in coronation ceremony in after all. Thank you, gentlemen.